Hi, so this is my video for my lesson reflection. What did we do well? Well, I think one thing that we did that was super great was we got everybody out of the classroom. And I know it was a long walk to Voni, but we worked really hard to get that space set up. And I think it was really nice for people to have a change of pace and to have the option to be just in a new environment. Some people don't even ever, like personally, I never go to Voni because I never taken any art classes, so that was cool because we introduced some people to a new space that they may not have known about before. I also think that we did a pretty good job of letting the students be on their own time and just kind of being flexible with time. I think there were a couple other things that we wanted to get in there, but we just kind of scratched off the lesson plan because we wanted the students to have more time to experience what would it be like to be in a Reggio school, especially since they'd already kind of seen an example of one. I think we did a good job of having different options for students. Granted, it was an art-centered class, but you could do very, like, low-level, like, low-skill level art of, like, just coloring in between the lines, or you could do very free range, which was like the painting, or you could create something in a different form with the Play-Doh. So we tried to have different options for students, and we were intentionally playing music in the background in case students wanted to be singing while they were working or dancing, or nobody got up to dance, but we just wanted students to feel comfortable. So I think those are some things that we did well. Something we could have been better about was getting the students' attention before we asked them to move to the next activity. I think sometimes I felt myself and Katie kind of yelling over the students to try to get their attention, because people weren't the best at like being quiet when we were asking for their attention. But that's hard because they had a lot of things in front of them that were very exciting, and they were moving around a lot. So that was hard, but I think that's something I personally want to get better at so that I'm not feeling like I'm yelling over people, and so I can feel more relaxed. How did I demonstrate effective communication? I think that we did a pretty good job of communicating as partners between me and Katie, because we were really good about bouncing ideas off of each other, and we definitely used the mentality that Sophia and Devin brought up of yes and. I think that worked really well for us because we both just got very excited about what each other was saying and went from there, and we didn't really shut down ideas. We just kind of builded off of each other, which was really nice. And as far as the students, we tried to really have them tell us how they were learning during that activity and try not to put too many words in their mouths or make anything too required. So try to give them a lot of choice through that, so that they were the main ones communicating towards us what they were learning. How do we demonstrate reflective practice? Also with the communication, students had to be able to communicate with each other too. And then reflective practice, I mean, the students were able to just kind of go into their own space during this activity and have their own time to draw and paint and just kind of enter a different world. And for some people, like, this is their first option since being in college to be able to paint something. That's what one of the students told me. So that's awesome, and I think that's great that we were able to, and that's a reflection process right there, because she's able to look back on her experience and realize that, oh my gosh, this is the first time she's able to do this. That's crazy, and then she's going to take more advantage of it now that she knows that. And I think also having students think back to the college school and reflect on what they saw there compared to what we tried to do and make it a little bit different was also helpful. How do we demonstrate pedagogical knowledge? I mean, we did reference things that students already knew, and try to make things feel somewhat familiar, but also try to provide some diversity so there wasn't too much uncomfortability, but we were also having them in a different environment. Authentic leadership, I mean, Katie and I tried to be on the back seat as much as possible. There were definitely times where we had to step in, like, to help if people needed different glue sticks or different paintbrushes or whatever different things people needed, then we did step in. And then from time to time, we wanted to make sure we were going around and having the students explain to us what they were making, to show that we were valuing what they were doing. And I'm sure some of them picked up on what we were trying to do, and so the responses weren't as authentic, which is fine, but that's what we were trying to do by going around and asking them those questions, just to show that everybody's ideas are valued, which I think is a very important quality in a leader. And we tried to look like that we weren't rushed and that we were very laid back and relaxed. So what did they learn? I hope they learned something. They obviously went to an example. They went to the college school. So if they didn't learn anything from us, they can think back to that. But I think something else they could learn is that no two Reggio schools look the same, and we try to make that pretty clear, as well as students learn through 100 different languages, and there's no right or wrong way to learn, I think, is one of the things that we tried to hit home. And I think they got a pretty good grasp of that, especially the ones that, like Ryan made a bowling alley with Play-Doh, so clearly he didn't feel limited in what he could do. So I think we hit home on that one. And I think they learned that while they were able to be creative, it made them feel really proud about what they were able to do. Like, Sophia wouldn't let go of her painting because she was very proud of her painting. And it was beautiful. And she doesn't really get to do that in any of her classes. So I think that was one other thing that it showed students, was that they could make something that they were super proud of when they were given this opportunity to be creative and be authentic. So, yep. I hope you guys liked it. It was a lot of work, but it was really fun. So, yep.